Hey Broncos country, Alexis Perry here, joined now by Broncos General Manager George Paton. George, as you reflect on your first season as the General Manager, how would you assess the 2021 Denver Broncos and the overall product on the field this season?
Right. I think we took some strides and there's a foundation in place, but certainly not satisfied. We need to learn how to close games better and win some of these close games that we were unable to do so. But I like the progress from our young players, and they're growing every day, every game, and even some of our better veteran players got better. And so, like I said, I think there's a foundation to build on, and now we need to take the next step.
Well, it was announced today that the Denver Broncos will begin the search for a new head coach after parting ways with Vic Fangio. When you look back on Vic's tenure, what do you think his most valuable contribution was to this organization over the last 3 seasons?
Vic brought stability. When he got here, the organization was in flux and going through a lot of different things, and it wasn't an ideal, for a new head coach. And he weathered the storm. Those first 2 years with the COVID and all the injuries he had, and he brought some stability to the organization, and we felt that this year with his football team, and we were right there, and obviously we had 30 players in IR, and we had a number of injuries and COVID, but we were relevant in December, not where we want to be, but Vic brought stability, and I'm really thankful for that.
Well, I know this was a tough decision for you, but what were the biggest factors that played into your decision to move on from Vic Fangio?
It was really tough because Vic is such a really good football coach. His integrity, his work ethic. I've never been around someone who knows the game like Vic or sees the game like Vic Fangio. At the end of the day, we just felt, maybe we needed a new voice to move forward with, and so that's where we came to the conclusion.
What are some of the qualities and characteristics that you're looking for in a new leader of this team?
Yeah, I think the number one quality is leadership and able to empower players and motivate day in and day out. This is a tough league, and these players work every day, and just to be able to motivate where you break the monotony. Obviously, you want a brilliant football mind, but someone that can empower and inspire, I think, is a number one trait we're looking for.
How do you expect the process of this search to unfold, and who else might be involved?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the process. It's going to be wide-ranging. We're going to interview a lot of different candidates. We think there's a lot of qualified candidates out there, and so we're going to be thorough. We're not going to be rushed, and I know for a fact we're going to get the right leader for the Denver Broncos.
The NFL has transitioned into a high-flying, high-scoring, quarterback-driven league. Will that influence your decision in naming a new head coach?
Obviously their offensive plan will factor into it. I'm not necessarily looking for an offense or defensive coach. I think in today's NFL, it's really imperative that you have a great leader, and I can't say that enough. And so that's what we're going to be looking for. Now, if they're a great play caller on offense, and that's even better, or even defense. But we don't want to limit ourselves and maybe miss a great candidate.
The Broncos have missed the playoffs 6 straight years, but the players on this team, like you do, believe that the foundation is solid, and there are really just a few tweaks that need to be made to get back to being playoff contenders. So what are the most glaring issues with this team today, and how do you go about rectifying those?
We need to do a deep dive, Alexis, and kind of see where those issues are. We'll get a new staff, and we'll break down every position and determine our needs and places we really need to upgrade. And for one thing, in the big moments of games, we need to make big plays, and that's what the good teams do. And if you can even yesterday's game, we're going in to kind of break the game open. We fumble, they take it. Philly, the same thing. We had a drop here and there, a missed block here and there throughout the season. But good teams make big plays in big situations, and we need to take that next step. We need to learn how to win, and that's our next step. And hopefully, with the leadership we bring in, we can get there.
I think surprisingly, Vic Fangio said in his final post-game press conference that the one thing separating this team from the rest of the AFC West is the fact that those other teams have top-shelf quarterbacks. Do you agree? And if so, how much emphasis will you put on finding a quarterback comparable to the likes of Herbert, Carr, and Mahomes this offseason?
No, it's real. I mean, they have 3 of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's real. And, unfortunately, they're not falling off trees, but, we're looking, and we will look, and it will cast a wide net there too, like we do at every other position. But there is an urgency to get the right guy, the right quarterback, but you just can't force it.
Well, I think it's safe to say that your first draft class is one that will not soon be forgotten. How would you grade Denver's 2021 rookie class, and what stood out the most to you about that group as a whole?
I think it's a good class, and I think about 2 or 3 of the players they're pros now. Now the challenge will be for the next 8 to 9 players to become pros, and they're evolving, and to be available week in and week out, and to learn the nuances of their position. Really good class. They need to take the next step, and I believe they will. But they have a long ways to go. The guy that we have a really good group with Surtain and Javante and Quinn Miners, and the one thing I like about this group is they love to work. They love to battle. They love to compete, and it's infectious. And so if the rest of the rookie class can kind of step up a little bit more, I think we're going to have a really good core in place.
Last year, it was getting a deal done with Justin Simmons. That was the priority. You later signed Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick to long-term deals, and you've made it clear that retaining these core players is really important to you. So is there anyone that's set to hit the open market that you're already prioritizing?
We're looking at a few guys. I'll probably keep that. I don't want to get their agent calling me today. I got enough going on. But
right.
we do have some players we are going to look to lock up. And as I've said, we want to lock up our good, young, talented players. It really helps with your culture, gives some of the young guys something to look up to and aspire to one day. But no, there are some players that we are definitely looking at.
With how many contracts expire this year, there's no doubt that this will be a busy offseason for you and your staff. Other than a quarterback, what are some of the other position groups that you hope to bolster through the draft and free agency?
Yeah, and again, it's hard with the new head coach and the new schemes and to really know, it's still raw this season, so it's hard to determine the needs. And we need to rush the passer better. We need to stop the run a little better. Offensively, we could protect a little better. Without really getting, specific positions, but that's just, from the season, that's kind of what I see it right now.
Well, with a new head coach and, like I mentioned, a number of contracts expiring, there is no doubt that this team could look incredibly different by the time training camp rolls around. So as you hit the ground running, what are a few goals that you have in mind for this franchise to accomplish here in 2022?
We need to take the next step, Alexis. We were relevant, in December, even, with the second to last game against the Chargers. If we win that game, we're still in it, and obviously we didn't. We need to take that next step and be playing in January, be in a playoff team, and our fans deserve that, our players deserve that, and that's the goal.
Well, George, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing how things unfold this offseason.
I appreciate you, Alexis. Thank you.